Hi everyone, welcome to class. I'm calling this the QL solution, and that stands for a muscle called the quadratus lumborum. It's a muscle of the low back, and it can be a problem area for a lot of people. A muscle that can be weak but tight and somewhat grouchy, maybe causing discomfort or pain for some of you. Um, Even if that doesn't describe you, this will help to strengthen your core, create some more feeling of suppleness in the spine and the back. So a great class for really anybody. We will use one block, so make sure you have that handy, and we will get started lying down on the back. The block will go between your thighs, and as you get settled onto your back, we will lift right into a low bridge. So squeeze that block, lift the pelvis off the ground. Your arms can be alongside, or you could have your hands on the tops of your thighs. Squeeze the block. We'll begin to lift and lower the pelvis. So we're just getting the glutes really warmed up to begin with. We almost always do glute work at the beginning of the session so that the glutes are prepared to work for us for whatever else comes our way. We know the glutes are important for hip mobility and pelvic stability. That goes hand in hand with the QL muscle because the QL is a lumbar stabilizer. So if our lumbar spine and pelvis are stable when we want them to be stable and moving when we want them to move with integrity, then the whole system is going to be working optimally. But if the lumbar spine or the pelvis are unstable or kind of just flopping around, that can lead to problems and pain. So we want to remember stability is important. Continue to lift and lower the pelvis, but reach your arms up toward the ceiling. Make fists and circle your fists around, getting into the wrist joint. We will be on the wrists a little bit today, so we want to prepare the wrists. Circle the other way, continuing to lift and lower the pelvis, squeezing the block. Good. Now hold your bridge steady and we'll stretch out the wrist. Pull your left fingers back, stretching out the left wrist. Deep breath. Then switch wrists, pulling the right fingers back. Deep breaths. Keep that block squeezed. The glutes are still working. Pelvis is level and stable. Good. Let's lower the arms and slowly lower the spine all the way down. You'll set the block just to the side, and we'll move right into our first set of abdominal work. Don't need a block for it. So hands go right behind the head, elbows are pointed up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, curl up. Look down toward the core. Think, keep it taut and strong, zipped up and working. Inhale, lower the head back down. Exhale, lift. This time, bring the left knee over the left hip. Put your foot back down. Lower your head as you inhale. Exhale, lift. Right knee comes over the right hip. Foot down, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Left knee comes over the left hip. Remember, head is heavy in the hand. Now, reach your right arm straight up toward the ceiling. So that's your left knee in the air, your right arm in the air, and you're reaching up. Put your foot down, put your hand back behind your head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Right knee comes over the right hip. Left arm reaches straight up toward the ceiling. Reach nice and high while maintaining a really strong connection to the abdominals. Put your foot down, hand behind the head. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Left knee over the left hip. Right arm straight up toward the ceiling. Now you're going to add a little turn to the left. Your arm and chest turn left. Your right hand is now reaching right above the left kneecap, the left knee. Bring everything back to center, hand behind the head, foot down, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Right knee comes up, left arm straight up. Remember, we're not rushing through any of this. We're holding strong. Reach up more, and then add your turn to the right. Now your left hand will be reaching directly above the right knee. You're up off the right shoulder blade. Bring everything back to center, hand behind the head, foot down, lower. Exhale, lift. Left knee comes over the left hip, right arm reaches up. Reach a little more. Turn to the left. Now that right hand cups the left knee. You're going to cup the kneecap just gently. And then imagine your left leg bone reaching up into the hand. It's a subtle little feeling, and what happens is we engage the core a little deeper to lift the femur up into the hand, almost like energetically lifting it. And then everything back to center, foot down, and lower. Exhale, lift. Right knee comes over the right hip, left arm reaches straight up. Add the turn to the right, cup the right knee. Here you're going to imagine that right femur lifting maybe a quarter of an inch into the left hand, like this upward feeling of the right femur bone, and you'll feel more in the core. And then everything back to center, hand behind the head, foot down, lower. Again, exhale, lift. Left knee comes up, right arm reaches up, turn left, cup the knee with the right hand. Lift that femur up just maybe a quarter inch, maybe even less. Hover your right foot. Keep that feeling of the left femur, the upper leg bone, lifting into the right hand. Stay up off the left shoulder blade. Pull down into the core, and then release back down. One more time. Exhale, lift. Right knee comes up. Left arm reaches straight up. Add your little turn to the right. Cup the right knee. Hold that kneecap gently, lifting the femur. The right femur lifts. Hover your left foot. So you probably can't see me moving my femur at all, but it's this energetic lifting up, almost like the femur could grow a little longer out of the hip joint. Stay up off the right shoulder blade, and then release back down. So I hope you really felt that in the core. Reach your arms overhead, feet wide for our wide leg twist. Drop the knees to the left. Now we're going to add a wrist pull. So grab your right wrist, find the space between the wrist bones, gapping that space and pulling just a little bit. So we're making space in the wrist and we're making length on the right side of your body. Maybe all the way from your right thigh, up your hip, rib cage, all the way to your arm. Take the legs the other way, and this time you'll grab your left wrist. So drop the knees to the right, grab the left wrist so you can create a little extra space on the left side of the body. Breathing deeply. Very good. Bring it back to center. We have one more set of abdominals. I know that I thought that first one was pretty challenging, but we do have another set that I think is also challenging. So yay for us. Let's do it. Knees over hips, that's your reverse tabletop position. Hands behind the head, elbows are up, deep breath in. Exhale, curl up. So we'll straighten the left leg about 45 degrees. Then bring the knee back in, lower your head, inhale. Exhale, lift. Right leg straightens about 45 degrees. Bring it back in and lower. Exhale, lift. Left leg straightens. Turn your chest to the left. Remember, you're up off the shoulder blade. Bring it back to center. Reset the legs and lower. Exhale, lift. Right leg straight. Turn to the right. Remember, head is heavy in the hand. You are staying up off the right shoulder blade, keeping that tight feeling, the tautness in the core. Bring it back to center. Reset the legs and lower. Exhale, lift. Left leg straight. Turn left. Now keep your chest how it is, but switch your legs. And then switch them again. And then bring everything back to center. Reset the legs and lower. Good. Exhale, lift. Right leg straight, turn right. Remember, keep your chest how it is, but switch your legs. And switch them again. And then bring everything back to center and lower. Exhale, lift. Left leg straight, turn left. Switch your legs one time, turn your chest to the right. Switch your legs again, turn your chest to the left. Bring everything back to center, reset the legs and lower. So we have to really follow the instructions here. Exhale, lift. Right leg straight, turn right. Hold your chest where it is, switch your legs one time, turn your chest left. Switch the legs again, turn your chest to the right, and then everything back to center, reset the legs and lower. Okay, so we're going to do that one more time and add one more thing. And by one more time, I mean one more on each side. So let's go. Exhale, lift. Left leg straight, turn left. Switch your legs, turn right. Switch your legs, turn left, and pulse your chest left and left. Little crunch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, lower. Okay, last one. Exhale, lift. Right leg straight, turn right. Switch the legs, turn left. Switch the legs, turn right, and we pulse it right and right and right. Little crunch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release back down. Nice job. You can hug your knees and give yourself a little squeeze. A little rock side to side always feels good. Okay, let's come up to tabletop to all fours. Very good. So the block, we will use it. It's going to go on your low back. As we do alternating fire hydrants, the block keeps the pelvis level, or keeps you with some feedback about the pelvis staying level. So put your block there and try to keep the block from moving at all. As we move into alternating fire hydrants, we're going to move the legs alternating left and right. So opening to the side and then the other side. And it might be really tempting to open the leg really wide, but that's where the even more difficulty comes from. The challenge is keeping everything under control. Stability, where we need to build more stability, and mobility, where we want to build more mobility. So I want you to be able to stabilize your lumbar spine and your pelvis, not let that part of the body go a little haywire, but keep it strong, keep it organized. Because often when we want to be powerful in our movements or fast in our running or whatever it is you like to do, we need to be able to stabilize for that strength and that power. And that might just be walking, like if you like to walk for exercise. Remember your triple S when we do these skull, scapula, sacrum lined up. And one more each side. Good, hopefully you didn't lose the block. Let's set the block down. And we will now do open and close the book. Let's take the left hand behind the head. Elbow is open wide. We reach up. And then closing the book, think elbow to elbow, and then open again. Couple of times like that. Open and close the book. Notice how strong can your core be, supporting that turn of the rib cage, but also supporting that stability of the low back and the pelvis. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's switch. Left hand down, right hand behind the head. Open and close your book. When we do this again, we want to keep our triple S pretty much intact, although we're rotating along that axis of the spine. And the pelvis, of course, stays level. The core is engaged. So let's go here for 4. Nice open and close. 3. Keeping that core organized for 2. And last 1. Awesome. Okay, we're going right into dolphin. Forearms come down. You could interlace your fingers. That makes it a little easier. But if you want the forearms parallel, that's a maybe more advanced or more difficult version. Either way is good, but I want to make sure the shoulders are over the elbows. They're not too wide. So keep it in line. Curl the toes under. Lift the hips high. Let your head be free. Your head is not touching the ground. Just make sure that it might be close, but it's not touching. And then the
add-on here that we'll do is a little bit of a sway of the hips side to side. So we're moving the pelvis and the hips just left and right. And there's a lot of strength in the front abdominal wall when we do this. The idea is that we feel maybe a little stretch through the side of the body, maybe into that QL, the quadratus lumborum. So that lumbar spine, deep back muscle that gets tight, cranky. My teacher calls it like an angry troll. And I think, yeah, like someone might be getting poked by a little angry troll in their back. Not very good, not fun. All right, child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. Sit the hips back toward the heels. Take a little breather. And then everyone's favorite move. Just kidding, it's not. The block on the lowest setting, we're going to put the stomach on the block. So it's going to be right on the soft part of the stomach, above the pelvis, below the ribs. So we have these bones that are called the ASIS bones, part of the pelvis. Block is right above that. Rib cage, block is just below. So you might have to kind of scooch yourself around to find how can you be not on the block. And then if you're comfortable enough, I know it's probably not like a, spa day or something, but comfortable enough, right? So you're going to support your forehead with your hands and try to breathe. Specifically, try to send your breath into your back and maybe into your sides. For people who are stuck in like chronic belly breathing, this is one of the techniques that I often use to train that away so that we can truly send the breath into other parts of the rib cage. The block is blocking you from belly breathing here. So just trying your best to stay with it. If it becomes to be too much, you can come off the block, but we're going to be here just a little longer. All right, let's come off the block. Whew, that's enough. Set the block to the side and stand up. Doing great. Let's see. Standing up tall, you can always check your triple S. Skull, scapula, sacrum are lined up. And then inhale, arms forward and up, reaching up. Exhale with a long spine. Hinge at your hips. Keep that spine organized and strong. So it requires some core activation to sit the butt back. Nice hip flexion. The hands come down. Right leg slides back. Lower your knee. Untuck the toes. Dangle your arms alongside. And what we'll do is this alternating reaching down to the left and then reaching down to the right. So what we're doing might feel like a good stretch, but there's also some strength involved in bringing you back to center. So reach down to the side, but then use strength from the abdominals, the low back, bring you back to center. So we're going to do that alternating, not too fast. And the returning to center is where I'd like you to focus most of your attention. So it's like you're here and then you bring yourself back up. So strong obliques, but also the corresponding spot on the back, helping you to get back to center. One more each side. And then we go to plank. Hands down, slide the foot back. Remember your triple S, even in your plank. Strong glutes, strong quads. Lower your knees. Keep everything solid as you lower slowly in one piece. Pull back for a low cobra, shoulder blades on the back, and then lift into downward facing dog. So if any of the poses that I tell you to do in this video, if they don't feel right for you, then you don't have to do them. You can skip it. You can do something different, something that works better for your body. Let's sway the hips side to side like we did earlier in dolphin, that little movement, stretching through the side body, but also getting a little bit of strength from that QL, quadratus lumborum, helping you return to center, stabilizing lumbar spine. So there's no hinging or arching there, just side bending, lateral flexion. From here, the right foot comes forward, lower the left knee, untuck the toes. You're going to dangle the arms and roll the shoulders this time. So as we roll the shoulders, it might feel nice for the upper traps, up into the neck, anything in there that you might feel like, oh, I could really go for a nice massage or something. You can roll your shoulders and get a little bit of that effect, some loosening of the tissues in the upper back and neck. So rolling the shoulders is a great thing to try daily if you feel up for it. From here, we'll step it forward and stand up. Okay, arms reach back up. We're going to go right into our first sequence. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Nice long spine. Right leg slides back. Lower the knee. Keep the toes tucked. Bring your right arm up. Your left hand comes to your low back. And your left hand is going to kind of inform the right glute to work. It's going to say, hey, are you working? Reach up more with the right hand. And then lean a little bit back, stretching the right quad, the right hip flexor. You might feel more, you might feel less. It just depends on how tight that area is. And it might feel different on your body on the right or the left. My left is generally tighter than my right. So when we do the other side, I might feel that. So just checking in with your own self. From here, we're going to go right into downward facing dog. Once you get to down dog, a little sway of the hips side to side. Keeping your core very strong and engaged will help to make this feel a little more comprehensive as we sway the hips side to side. Next, modified side plank. Put your left knee down. Your right arm will sweep up. From here, sweep that right arm overhead so you're reaching long, right palm facing the floor. Release your neck. So we're getting some stretch through the entire right side. Rib cage, armpit, maybe all the way to the hip. Breathing into the right ribs. Left shoulder blade stays solid, supportive. Okay, from here, take it down to your tabletop position. We're going to do a little compound movement. Left hand behind the head. Right leg slides back. Now you're going to open your book. And as you close the book, bring your right knee towards your belly. So pull in. Do it again. Slide your right leg back. Open the book. Right knee pulls in. Close your book. Yes, a couple more like that. So you can go real slow at your own pace. There's not a lot of rounding as you pull the knee in. We're trying to avoid a rounding in the back. More stability coming from those muscles in the back body. One more time, pull in, slide it back, open, and this time we're coming down to plank. Lower your knees. Lower slowly. Pull back for cobra. And lift into downward facing dog. Very good. From here, tiptoe forward, and we'll stand up. You can always take your time to get there, making your way back to the front of the mat. Let's do the other side. Arms sweep up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, long spine. Left leg will slide back. Lower the knee, keep the toes tucked. Left arm reaches up. Right hand is on the low back, reaching toward this left glute, kind of informing it to work, saying, okay, are you even doing anything? Left glute, it's firm, it's wrapping down. Now reaching up, 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 and leaning back. Yeah, definitely feeling this left side a little more than I did on the right. No surprise there. But just evaluating in your own body, does this left hip feel tighter? Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe the same. It's neither good nor bad, it just is. And it's helpful to build up a picture of your own body so that you have kind of a baseline, so that when something
feels different or off or maybe hurt or injured or something, you remember like, oh yeah, my left side is my tighter side. That makes sense. Or whatever the case might be for you. From here, we go to downward facing dog. Plant the hands, slide the leg back, finding your down dog, and adding a little sway of the hips side to side. Similar to when we do our down dog crouches, this is just like a smaller version of that crouch. From here, modified side plank, right knee comes to the floor, left arm reaching up, right shoulder blade stays solid on the back, reach the left arm over, release your neck, and if that neck thing doesn't feel good, keep your head in line, but make sure it's not doing weird stuff in front, like looking around like a periscope, the thing on the submarine that looks around. We don't want the neck to have to do that. The neck doesn't have to get involved here too much. We're just stretching, holding strength in our center, stabilizing the shoulder blade, and the neck and head might be desperate to get involved, but consciously let that part soften. Breathe into the left ribs. And then from here we come down to tabletop. Here's our compound move. Right hand behind the head. Left leg slides back. You're going to open your right arm up, opening the book. As you close your book, bring the left knee in toward your chest. And again, open, slide the leg back. Bring the knee in, close the book. A couple times like that. Remember, you can go really slow, take it a little more segmentally or step by step, or smooth it out and make this move happen with control, with a lot of control. There's some balance required, which means your core has to be working. We're here for 3, 2, and last 1. From here, we go to plank. Strong core, head in line. Lower your knees, lower slowly in one piece. Pull it back for a little cobra. And we'll take child's pose next, just a little break, letting yourself catch your breath. All right, so let's come back up to stand. Second sequence, cruising right along. We begin in a high lunge. So the right leg slides back, and your lunge might be a little less or a little more than my lunge, but I do want to encourage a neutral pelvis, meaning zipping up in the front and dragging the tailbone down. That might mean the right knee must bend more than you're used to. Then bring the arms up. From here, we take a tilted crescent lunge, tilting the chest forward so that the torso and the arms are now in the same diagonal line as the right leg. Reaching strength here, feeling a lot of work in the left glute. That front leg glute has to work. Firm up the right glute as well. Now you're going to turn your chest and rib cage and arms to the left, just like that. And then back to center and turn again left and center for 3, 2, and last 1. Turn back to center, twisted crescent lunge. You could use your block here. Right hand down, left arm up. You might feel like a really nice calf stretch, right calf. Right shoulder blade stays clamped on, organized. Structural integrity is there. And then put your right knee down, modified side plank, left leg slides back. You could set the block aside. From here, really strong abs help you rise up to gate pose. Make sure your right foot is off the mat. If that hurts the knee at all, you could put a blanket under it or something, but should be okay. We're not here very long. Hinge yourself over to the left, kind of like a windmilling action. and then windmill to the right, back to the left, and to the right. So this is another move that we're doing where we need these obliques in the QL to help us move with control, and that'll help strengthen and create more suppleness for the back, more strength, more control. There's some stretch as well, but there's a lot of hugging in. Okay, last time. All right, next we come to a kneeling position. So both knees come down. Step the left foot to the left, and we're going to just lunge into that left. This is a grounded warrior. So we're doing a little grounded warrior lunge. You may feel a lot of stretch in the inner thigh. Some people feel both inner thighs. Either way is good. So we're lunging into that for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn back to the front. We'll step forward and stand up and move right onto the second side. So we began in a high lunge. Slide your left leg back. Now get your pelvis organized. Remember, zip up in the front, tailbone pointing down. Both glutes are a little bit working. Might be some stretch here on the front of the left hip, and then the arms will reach up. Make sure your triple S is in effect or trying to be. Keep a strong feeling in the abs as you hinge forward tilted crescent lunge. So now the torso and arms are in the same diagonal as the left leg. A lot of work on the right leg, the front leg supporting, the right glute working, but keep that left glute a little bit engaged too. Hold strength here in the core. Let's add our turn to the right and center. Turn right and center. 3 more. Just a little turn and center for 2. And last 1. Okay, grab your block if you wanted it for twisted crescent. Left hand down on the floor or the block. Right arm reaches up. Left shoulder blade is solid, supportive. Right arm is just reaching up nicely. Sometimes I see a lot of people to flail the arm back. It's like maybe they want more stretch or something. I just want you to reach it up nicely. So that plumb line kind of feeling really long and strong. Now, modified side plank. Left knee comes down. You can set your block aside. The right leg slides to the back. Now, your strong abdominal wall and the back muscles here are going to help you to rise up gate pose. And then make sure you're organized in the legs. Hinge, windmilling to the right, and then windmilling over to the left. So it's all about muscle strength, bringing you back to center. And that slow descent toward the floor also uses a lot of muscle control. So we're not just flailing around, right? We're moving smoothly with a lot of control. A few more times. Okay, one more. And then what we did was we come to a kneeling position, getting organized there. Step the right foot out to the right, grounded warrior, lunging into that right leg. So right inner thigh getting some stretch. Torso organized, posture is still intact here. So just because we're doing something maybe novel, something new, does not mean we get to collapse the posture. We must keep it integrated and strong. Lunging for 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Come back to the front of the mat. Step forward and stand up. We're going to put it all together. Quick last little bit here. We begin in chair pose. So sit your butt back. Remember, core strong, glutes are on, arms reach forward. Nicely done. Okay, so from here, we will slide your right leg back, tilted crescent lunge. The arms reach back as well. And then step back to the chair. And we're going to stay on that same side. So right leg slides back, and then right leg slides forward. We'll do it again. Right leg back, and right leg forward. If that's too complicated with the arms, then just keep the arms forward as you slide the right leg. But if you feel good about the arms, sliding the leg back, sweeping the arms back, sliding forward, reaching forward. Again, back, reaching back, and forward. Last one, slide it back. Now, gently, slowly, with control, put your right knee down, 90-90 lunge. Right arm up. Left hand on the low back. Reach up high, lean back. We did it earlier, the beginning. Leaning back for that quad stretch, hip flexor stretch. Now, something new, we're going to turn to the right for some side lunges. Pick yourself up, pivot to the side, arms like a T. You can make fists, squeezing those shoulder blades together on the back as we do these side lunges just for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We pivot to the front for downward facing dog. So you can come to your knees to get there and then lift the hips high, down dog. We'll add that little hip sway that we've done a couple of times already. Maybe you feel a little more in control of that, maybe a little more open. Swaying for 3, 2, and 1. This time you're going to put your left knee down, modified side plank. Right arm sweeps up. Rise up in the torso, so gate pose again. Side bend to the right hand reaches down, left arm is in the air. Now, as we go back to modified side plank, you're going to kick that right leg forward just one time. Put the right leg back down. Gate pose, side bend. Modified side plank, add a kick. So the right leg lifts, you kick it forward. It's just a gentle kick. Place it back down. Gate pose, side bend. Modified side plank with a kick. One more time like that. Gate pose, add the side bend. Modified side plank, add your kick. And then come down to your tabletop position. Left hand behind the head. Right leg slides back. We did it earlier. We're going to open the book and then close your book. Right knee draws in. Do it again. Open and pull in. Let's do that for 4. Very good. 3. Last 2. And last 1. All right. So next we take that block. We set it down for our stomach. Again, maybe you thought you were home free and didn't have to do that again, but here we go. Setting it up like you did earlier, just for a few breaths. The block is lifting your belly up into your back and allowing the back to lengthen. So you can probably see in my own back here with the block is lifting the belly, lengthening, kind of like ironing out this back tissue. So that's the idea. We're going to just be here another few breaths. Try to focus on your breathing. Okay, so we come back up to a standing position. Set the block to the side, and we will finish this up nice and strong. Little more to do. Chair pose, sit your butt back. Core is solid. Glutes are working. Arms reach forward. Now, slide your left leg back, arms sweep back. So we're just doing our tilted crescent variation to chair pose, reaching the arms again. Left leg back, arms back. Slide left leg forward, arms forward. And I can feel my posture a little bit, kind of my head wanting to get maybe tired or drooping forward. So re-engage your posture. We're here a few more times, sliding the leg back and forward. This works the right glute a lot. We are also, of course, stabilizing the pelvis and the lumbar spine, using this strong connection to the core to help support this movement. 2 more. Okay, this time slide the leg back, stay like that, and then gently the left knee comes down slowly with control, 90-90 lunge. Left arm up, right hand on the low back, telling that left glute to work. Reach up, up, and then lean back. Little bit of that. Lean back. It doesn't take much. We are not hinging in the low back to do this lean back. It's as if we're just leaning the ribs back 1 inch, maybe 2. Small. Till you feel some resistance, some stretch in the front of the left hip. That's why that glute is important to keep strong. It's like a bumper, keeping us from dumping into the lumbar spine. Turn to the left for your side lunges. So pick yourself up, pivot to the side, arms like a T, hinge forward, and we move side to side. Shoulder blades strong on the back. Triple S is still in effect. So you can always take your hands to check, is my triple S, my skull scapula sacrum, in line? Trying to build up a picture of what that feels like. Being able to access that a little quicker without having to use your hands, but knowing that you can always check with your hands. And then from here, we turn to the front, gently pivoting, hands down, downward facing dog. Remember, you could come down to your knees first. Once you're there, it's a little sway. Hips go right and left, like a little baby crouch. Core stays very zipped up, very strong. Now, the right knee comes down, modified side plank. Left arm lifts up. Good. Here we go, modified side plank to gate pose, rise up. Add your side bend, left hand down, right arm reaching over. Now we get to do that modified side plank with a kick. Right hand to the floor, left leg, lift it up, kick it forward gently, set it back down, gate pose, side bend. And then again, modified side plank, lift the left leg, kick it forward, set it down, gate pose with the side bend. Let's do it again. Kicking forward gently with control. Whew, getting some heat building here. 2 more times. Good. Last time, give it a good kick forward. And then we come down to tabletop for our compound movement. Compound just meaning 2 things together. Right hand behind the head, left leg slides back. Open your book, and then close the book, bring the left knee in. Remember, if that feels like too much, keep both knees down and just open and close the book with only moving the upper, the arm and the turn of the chest. We're here, 3, 2, make it strong, last one, and then grab that block. We're lying down on it 1 more time, which must mean we're getting toward the end. It's true. I kind of think that the block under the belly is a little bit, not torture, I would, not torture, but borderline, right? So you can support your forehead with your hands, and by now, hopefully feeling a little bit of spaciousness in that area of the back. Breathing. Seeing if you can unclench your jaw, relaxing any tension in the body. Okay, we're going to roll over onto the back, setting the block aside, and go right into Shavasana. So if there's any props that you like to prop your legs up with a pillow or a bolster or something like that, definitely set yourself up comfortably. But if you're happy just with nothing, then get settled into Shavasana. Legs flopped out, palms facing up, and a full body sense of having accomplished something by doing this sequence, this class, and also allowing some time here at the end to relax, to savor the stillness. to just breathe. Begin to deepen your breath. Let's wiggle the fingers, the toes, ankles, and wrists. And then rolling over and making your way up to sit. Very good job getting through this class. Thank you for participating, taking good care of yourself, and I will see you again soon. Thank you so much.